is up, you guys? Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys are having a really good day. Two things that I'm going to share with you guys. I have a green screen on my bed because I'll be putting this up in a matter of maybe 5 days or so. The second thing is I have new uploading days. That is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Don't miss a video. Make sure you turn on post notifications so you don't miss a video. Like the video and make sure you subscribe down below. Let's get right into the video. You guys are great. Yeah, let's hope my thing doesn't buffer like Monday did.
And the defendant had a smirk on her face.
Jay Lynn was proud of what she had done? That's absurd. Where's the evidence of that?
You manipulated the evidence to appear as though it was something that it wasn't. Am I right? Yes.
To end like this is real disheartening.
It was never about Ryan's family. It was never about them. I don't mean to hurt anyone else. I never meant to hurt anyone else.
He raises the gun again and fires it more. Just once. Just once to hear the words, I shouldn't have done that.
Are you sure when you took the gun out and the bullets you didn't say, you know, did you have any thoughts at that time of killing anybody with it?
No.
Sure you didn't take the gun so you could kill Mr. Bruno a week later?
No.
But I listened to everything that was said in here. I never heard a word or look that said, I'm sorry.
Old or young, the devil doesn't discriminate. Let's watch. Courtney Clenny, an OnlyFans model who fatally knifed her boyfriend in Miami, was arrested in Hawaii and is expected to be extradited on the charge of second degree. She uses the name Courtney Taylor on Instagram and OnlyFans, where she has more than 2 million followers. Courtney Clenny, 26, was charged with the second degree in the knifing of her boyfriend, Christian Toby Obumseli. The state attorney for Miami-Dade County, Catherine Fernandez Rundle, announced. Rundle described the couple's relationship, which began in November 2020, as extremely tempestuous and combative. According to the arrest warrant, she had also been charged with domestic battery against Obumseli in a hotel in Las Vegas previously. She said the building management where Clenny and Obumseli lived documented multiple instances of loud arguments and was ready to evict the couple before Obumseli's passing. Clenny had kicked Obumseli out of their apartment, but the couple seemingly reconciled 2 days before his passing. Clenny told police she had knifed Obumseli after he grabbed her by the throat and shoved her against the wall. She allegedly said she ran to the kitchen, grabbed a knife, and threw it at him from about 10 feet away, but police did not find any evidence that Clenny had been harmed.
Christian can be heard in the background repeatedly saying that he was dying. Defendant Clenny called 911 to tell the police that Christian was suffering from a stab wound.
Clenny's attorney, Frank Prieto, asked the judge to limit the amount of evidence because said her case had gained so much publicity that releasing any more evidence could make jury selection a complicated process. However, the judge denied it.
The rules of judicial administration allow Your Honor to issue protective orders for this court. Clear, black and white letter of the law.
Well, if she's scared, then why did she kill the person? You know, it's funny. All these convicted felons be quiet in the courtroom. They stand there and they look all pitiful and sad when they knew what they fucking did. Like, let's be real here. That's what I don't understand.
Public, they need clicks. For her right to a fair and impartial jury, which I submit to the court by the...
Because she does Pornhub! OnlyFans! She deserves to be in a life sentence for killing an innocent person. Maybe he's not an innocent person, but she fucking stabbed him. And she made it seem like he's the fucking bad guy when she's a fucking bitch. And she's a whore and a slut.
The state already releasing that video has already elongated the jury selection process by days.
Obumseli's family attorney,
well, because you're a fucking idiot,
confirmed that the parents of the 27-year-old want Clenny, who is known as Courtney Taylor, to spend her life in prison. And Courtney Taylor, that she has been charged with the second degree.
Fishy ass pussy, bro.
Frankly, allow them to control the narrative. It prevents the defense from doing the same thing.
Shut up!
Something needs to be put in place, Judge, to guarantee my client's right, but also the orderly administration of justice in this courtroom.
Because if convicted of the charge,
Aw,
Clenny could
she
be sentenced to
crying.
life imprisonment.
I just feel
Aww.
it's important that the court be made aware
Dumb
that
fuck.
that warrant that Judge Jello signed, I do at best it's manslaughter.
I don't want to make any sort of ruling and then jeopardize whatever right for review you'd have in front of a judge. For all those reasons, I'm going to abstain at this moment from interjecting my opinion.
Shaylin Funes. In Department 5 of the Tulare County Superior Court, Visalia Division, Judge Joseph Cal...
Last night,
It was nice. February is Love-uary on Hallmark.
You look... wow.
Make it
Lashian sentenced Shaylin Funes, age 18, to 16 years to life in prison for a hit-and-run slaying. On December 4, 2017, a Tulare County jury found Funes guilty of second degree with the special allegation of use of a fatal weapon and hit-and-run causing a passing. On May 27, 2017, Visalia Police Department officers responded to calls of a hit-and-run near Conyer and Prospect. According to witnesses, prior to the crime, Funes and her boyfriend were engaged in an argument with a third person when 35-year-old Eric Fisher, a married father of two, told them to take their fight somewhere else because they were in a family neighborhood with children present. Funes and her boyfriend cursed at Fisher and got into Funes's gray Toyota Camry. Fisher walked back to his house, which was across the street from the argument. Funes then made a U-turn, approached the intersection, stopped even though she had the right-of-way, and then abruptly accelerated her vehicle into Fisher, who was standing on the sidewalk. Fisher was launched over and landed behind the car. Funes then reversed and hit Fisher a second time. She backed the car over Fisher, accelerated, and dragged him an entire block, while his family screamed for her to stop.
Fucking sad,
Funes
bro.
rounded the corner and sped away after Fisher's body dislodged from the car. Fisher passed away from his injuries later that evening
That's
at
so
Kauai
sad,
Delta
dude.
Hospital. Police located Funes
so
at her
sad.
home 2 days later and took her into custody.
The defendant made direct eye contact with Alice Fisher, and the defendant had a smirk on her face, almost as if she looked proud of what she was doing. Defendant then slowly began to turn to the left.
That's what they do. They see relief when they do it.
West onto Prospect, and then abruptly pulled her wheel to the right so that her car went straight into the victim with acceleration.
This is a case of hit and run driving from an accident where Mr. Fisher tragically died. This is not a murder case. Shaylin was proud of what she had done? That's absurd. Where's the evidence of that?
And with everything I had inside, I just said, please send help. Like my uncle's been run over.
We looked at the car, we looked at the person inside, and we said, stop. My brother-in-law's underneath the car, stop.
As the car went under, it either was turning to the right or the body had velocity this way.
Ruth Commande. Ruth Commande, who was declared Lang Ata Women's Prison Beauty Queen in 2016, has lost an appeal challenging her sentence. The 26-year-old will regret her entire life a single calamitous act of taking the life of her then-boyfriend, Fareed Mohammed, in 2015. Commande will now spend her life behind bars and face the penalty after a second court decreed she has a heart full of malice, spite, callousness, and hatred, and which equally deserves to be punished by the highest extent of the law.
we just wanted to thank the court and the justice in Kenya.
After High Judge Jesse Lissett sentenced her with the final penalty, Commande moved to the Court of Appeal, hoping to prove that she had no intention to slay Mohammed. He explained,
"Oh, fuck you, you stupid bitch."
Some letters the deceased had written to another woman. She had reconciled with him to an extent that she would go cook for him. The woman narrated that she left him in self-defense, adding
kill
that there
him?
was proof that there was a struggle between them, as she too had injuries. However,
Injuries?
Court of Appeal judges declined to tilt the scales
The
of
bitch
justice
had
in her
no
favor
injuries. Shut the
and
fuck
said,
up. She did not.
Upon close scrutiny of the
That's
evidence
not
adduced,
fucking.
we cannot but conclude, as did the learned judge, that the
Every
appellant's
single victim
alleged defense of self-defense
wants.
was unbelievable, given
Sorry.
the cogent and compelling
Every
evidence of the
defendant always
prosecution
wants
witnesses.
everybody to feel sorry for
Person
them.
deliberately stabbed the deceased with the clear intention to cause him pain, suffering, and death, even where you feel disappointed or frustrated, Don't do it. Instead, it is cool to walk away and thereafter to forgive. I found that the only sentence to pass in this case is death, and therefore sentencing the accused person to death as prescribed by the law.
Atif Rafay and Sebastian Burns. A 10-year legal marathon ended as Atif Rafay and Glenn Sebastian Burns were each sentenced to 3 consecutive life prison terms without parole for the bludgeoning passing of Rafay's parents and sister. A King County Superior Court jury convicted the 2 men of 3 counts of aggravated first degree in after a 6-month trial. The odyssey began when the 2 Canadians fled north across the U.S.-Canadian border 2 days after reporting the passings in 1994. We've been tried, we've been convicted for something we didn't do. We're still waiting for our day in court, Burns said, keeping his back to King County Superior Court Judge Charles W. Mertel and prosecutors. Rafay also maintained his innocence, but choked back tears as addressed the court, saying the loss of his parents and sister has caused him great anguish. I considered having my family the greatest of privileges, he said, speaking of his admiration for his father's brilliance and generosity and the wit and charm of his mother, to whom he said he was closest. He said he regretted his youthful embarrassment of his autistic sister, who I lost to silence.
This entire experience is the fact that I would even have to speak out and say, yeah, no, I did not do that.
Would you have ever done anything, Atif, to hurt your parents?
No.
Mertel ordered both men to repay costs of the Rafay family's burial as well as legal expenses and costs of the investigation in both Canada and the U.S. Neither man is allowed contact with the remaining Rafay family members who live in Canada, Florida, and Pakistan, nor can they profit in any way from the crimes. The 2 were charged with aggravated first degree, punishable in Washington by either penalty sentence or life in prison without parole. Prosecutors alleged Burns, now 29, wielded the aluminum bat used in the slayings, and that he and Rafay, 28, planned the slayings for money. The 2 were arrested in Vancouver in August 1995, the same month that the family estate, valued at about $300,000, was turned over to Rafay, who had just completed his first year at Cornell University. For years, Canadian authorities refused to send them back to Washington because of the chance of their execution. The 2 were finally returned here in 2001, after King County prosecutor Norm Malang agreed not to seek the penalty. Defense lawyers insisted throughout the trial that the 2 merely found the bodies when they returned from seeing a movie, and that police had focused too much on Burns and Rafay and not enough on other suspects. The case took bizarre twists, with Burns being assigned to Richardson after jail guards reported seeing him having intercourse with his previous lawyer, Teresa Olson, in a jail interview room.
You manipulated the evidence to appear as though it was something that it wasn't. Am I right?
Yes.
You staged a scene in a parking lot, am I right?
Basically.
And the reason you did that, sir, was so that you could say, while you were at the movies, am I right?
Correct.
You got into a car collision, didn't you?
Yes.
Did you own up to it at the time?
No, I did not.
Albeit with this stupid little car crash.
The difference is that the first one is a car accident and the second one is a homicide.
That's correct, Mr. Burns.
Marquise Fuller. The teenager convicted of shooting and slaying his ex-girlfriend and trying to slay her mother in their Kenosha home in May 2019
fucking
will spend
God.
the rest of his life in prison without the possibility of parole. Marquise Fuller, who is now 18, was sentenced by Kenosha County Judge Mary Kay Wagner on May 19. You are a very dangerous and damaged human being, Judge Wagner said sternly that Friday afternoon. Fuller was found guilty by a jury in March of shooting and slaying 15-year-old Kaylee Jugga and wounding her mother, Stephanie Jugga. Wagner sentenced Fuller to life in prison without the opportunity for supervised release for Jugga's slaying. The sentences for the attempted slaying and burglary are to be served concurrently to one another, consecutive to the life term. Prosecutors said Fuller blamed Kaylee and her mother for his expulsion from school and removal from the football team.
This is what my skin looked like 6 months ago. I was struggling with breakouts along my jawline and my cheeks. And this is what my skin looks like now, thanks to Curaleaf.
They said Fuller, 15 years old at the time, plotted to get a gun, ammunition from a friend, and had a relative dispose of the gun the state crime lab said matched the one used in the shooting. The mother and daughter were upstairs in their home the afternoon of May 9, 2019, shortly after returning home from school. The family was preparing to go on a camping trip when Fuller snuck in through the open garage.
I am looking at the specific finding. It was probable cause. Shooting clean Steve, heard gunshots.
That's sad as fuck, bro.
machine indicator was Martise Fuller. At that point, Martise Fuller shot a gun at her.
The time is almost up. Anything can happen to you at this point.
Want her and I want her whole family to know. People, strangers like you, I'm obsessed.
Prosecutors had pointed to Fuller's intimate knowledge of the home, Kaylee's daily schedule, and had that he paced the home prior to the shooting. Kaylee was shot 5 times and passed away at the scene. Stephanie Jugga identified Fuller as the person she came face to face with on the second.
Imagine dying on the scene, and you don't even know like what to do, and you're dead. I don't know, man.
My biggest cheerleader, and now I'm lost. I feel so lost without her. Stephanie Jugga said, fighting through her tears. In
Sorry guys, I'm doing something right now.
That continues to this day, Jugga said Fuller ruined her and recounted all of the milestones with
So sad, bro.
high school sophomore. We don't get to see
like
her graduate high school this
it's like
year.
people have
We don't
no
get to see her
remorse.
Go to college, or get married, or adopt children like she wanted to. Prosecutors asked for the maximum penalty in the case with roots in home violence, and that Fuller has taken no accountability for what amounted to a plot to slay to take control. During the trial, witnesses for prosecutors painted Fuller as obsessed with Jugga, hurting her in school.
Yeah, cry, douchebag, cry.
Including days before the
Cry.
shooting. Following the shooting, a cousin brought Fuller to a relative's house in Racine, where he was arrested the following day. During the trial, Fuller's cousin testified he brought Fuller to the home and disposed of a gun for Fuller, despite admitting to initially lying.
This is just
I
insane.
wouldn't wish this on nobody,
This
and
is sad,
I feel like how I am with both sides of the family. So right now, it's just my head is everywhere.
Martise Fuller killed my daughter on May 9, 2019, in her own home, and then attempted to kill me with no second thoughts or regrets.
Sierra Halzeth and Aaron Guerrero. Sierra Halzeth and Aaron Guerrero have been sentenced to life in prison with a chance of parole after 22 years for slaying Halzeth's father in April 2021. The two have been found guilty of several charges, including open slaying and credit card fraud. The sentencing was part of a plea deal to avoid the final penalty against Aaron Guerrero, who was 18 when the crime was committed. Guerrero and Halzeth were arrested in Utah on April 9 after the body of Halzeth's father was found in a fire. During court proceedings, Halzeth read a letter before a judge detailing several instances of physical inappropriate acts and harassment from her father, claiming he was a drug addict and a pedophile. Guerrero's statement expressed remorse over the slaying of Daniel Halzeth, apologizing to the victim's family and saying he didn't deserve to pass in such a horrible way. An investigation revealed that the two suspects knifed Daniel Halzeth over 70 times, put his body into a sleeping bag, and tried to dismember the body with a chainsaw and circular saw before setting it on fire. The body was discovered in the garage of his home near Durango and Alta Drives shortly after Lieutenant Ray Spencer of the Los Angeles Metropolitan Police Department's homicide section said the father had recently told his daughter that he did not want her to date Guerrero. To make matters worse, a video also circulated of both teams joking about the slaying afterwards.
C-357693, State of versus Carlos Guerrero. Record reflected defendant is present in custody.
I told him I was asexual and I had prefer girls, but he said that's all a lie and you're too young to understand any of that. You don't know how to explain it. He would tickle me so much to the point where I wasn't laughing. Once he was editing pictures of this girl that was 98% me. He told me to stay with him in the room until he was done. He took pictures and videos of me when I told him no or that it made me uncomfortable.
Ivory Smith. An Indianapolis woman, Ivory Smith, has been sentenced to more than 30 years in prison for fatally shooting a 3-month-old
This
child
is
and
sad.
her boyfriend on the city's
Oh
Near North
man,
Side in August
dangerous
of 2019.
motherfucking kids,
Ivory
bro.
Smith was sentenced to a total of 32
Ivory
years
Smith.
in prison
Great
for charges
name.
of voluntary and involuntary slaying and criminal recklessness, of
Yeah,
which she
bro.
was found guilty. Smith shot and took the life of her boyfriend, 37-year-old William Wilson Jr., and his 3-month.
You know, at this point, it's very sad, you know. Why were they raised like this? Some of these aren't even kids. But like, just the way, just no remorse, man.
Told nephew
Sad.
Theodore Wilson.
They
Officers
weren't
arrived
raised
to
right.
find 3 people who had been shot, and Smith was arrested at the scene. She told police she and her boyfriend had been arguing about a fight they had the day before. Smith told investigators
That's
that
a
when her
lie.
boyfriend came at her, she grabbed a gun.
When they know they're in trouble, they reverse it to make it seem like the person that died was at fault and they did nothing. When we pretty much know that every single defendant lies because they don't want to get caught. So it's whatever. Some are truthful and some are not, but this one is insane. These are insane. This is sad as fuck.
He ran from the
But
room
I
when
hope
she
you
went
guys
out,
understand what
thinking
I'm
he had
saying.
run to his mother's room.
And I'm not
Documents
just
say
speaking
Smith
out of
then
my
fired
ass.
shots into the mother's room, where the mother and the baby were lying on the bed. The bullets hit the mother in the wrist and took the life of the baby. She stopped firing when the gun ran out of bullets and called 911.
You shot a fucking baby. Hope you in there for fucking. I hope you dead either way. I hope you dead.
And the baby passed away due to their
Death
injuries.
sentence.
Number 2,
Gonna be
Shayna
in that
Hubers.
fucking chair.
Life in prison. That's the sentence Judge Daniel Zala delivered to Shayna Hubers in the 2012 slaying of her boyfriend, Ryan Poston. Poston's mother, Lisa Carter, hugged people in the gallery and said, "It's never over," after the judge spoke. Jay Poston, Ryan's father, asked the Campbell Circuit Court judge to do what he could to delay Hubers' release in his testimony. Evil, for reasons only evil knows, took it upon herself to take from us that which she could never possess.
She looks like a slut.
Zala said he saw no reason to alter the jury's life sentence recommendation. He looked at Hubers and told her she picked up a gun off a table and shot her boyfriend 6 times. Hubers showed no visible emotion during sentencing or when bailiffs escorted her away. Hubers, 27, is eligible to see a parole board in 14 years, since she has already served 6 years in jail. The sentencing hearing was delayed several times so the defense could review victim statements and clarifications could be made about the pre-sentencing investigation report. Hubers has been found guilty twice of the slaying of Poston, 29. The first
This
trial
is
was
heartfelt,
jury
bro.
found a juror had been previously convicted of a
Sorry,
felony.
guys.
Huber's defense team requested Zala declare a mistrial, a move Zala denied. Huber shot and slayed Ryan Poston on October 12, 2012 at his Highland Heights condominium. Her defense
sad.
argued she shot in self-defense. The jury took 5
Self-defense?
hours to convict Hubers on a slaying charge after a 2-week trial.
Cuckoo.
Hubers took responsibility by calling 911 and talking to police, Eldridge said. He described his
There goes
client's
crybaby
police
slut.
interrogation as the ramblings of a mentally ill young girl. Commonwealth's attorney Michelle
Mentally
Saunders,
ill?
the lead prosecutor, said
Yeah, she
Hubers
is
said
mentally
was
ill.
sorry
She's
for
sick.
slaying Poston in a typed letter to the judge before sentencing.
Sick.
Although Snodgrass said after the trial, Hubers has expressed anything but remorse.
All right, I don't want to
He was
keep.
told
I don't
by
want
his
to keep
family
seeing
that
the
Poston's
slut on my
sister faked
on my
tears
television.
on the
Can we
witness Snodgrass said.
go to the next person,
Snodgrass
please?
also asked the judge
Sir?
to consider Hubers' jail decisions at sentencing, even though her jail marriage to a transgender woman named Unique Taylor earlier that year was inadmissible in the trial.
Looking back on it, I feel like I was led on. I feel like I was manipulated, used, and abused. It was
Please shut the fuck up. You know what you did, and shut the fuck up and don't speak about it. This is what I hate about intent. Fuck. These are the kind of people that piss me off so fucking much. You were abused. No, the fuck you were not abused. You killed an innocent person, and I believe it was your husband, boyfriend, whatever it is. Now that's called abuse, and that's called fucking. That's sick. Talk again.
It was never about Ryan's family. It was never about them. I don't need to.
It was about you killing a fucking innocent person. You delusional fuck.
Hurt anyone else. I never meant to hurt anyone else.
Yes, the fuck you did. Shut the fuck up and just learn from it.
Raises the gun again and fires some more. Just once.
Yeah, just once. fucking 10 fucking times in one shot.
You can
Like
install
30
an ad
seconds.
blocker and you'll never see ads again.
Stupid.
Just once to hear the words, you shouldn't have done that.
What I think happened in that apartment was a little more than cold-blooded murder, but I listened to everything that was said in here. I never heard a word or look.
She's sorry.
That said, I'm sorry. We have tremendous gratitude.
That's what they do. They don't got any remorse. They don't say sorry. They only say sorry to themselves because they didn't want to go to jail.
Number 4, Nathaniel Brazil.
Oh,
Nathaniel Brazil, a
14-year-old
convicted for the slaying of his middle school teacher, was sentenced to 28 years in prison.
Alright, now we got a little douchebag that killed his teacher. Fucking idiots, dude.
In the Florida courtroom. Palm Beach County Circuit Court Judge Richard Winnett also ordered Brazil to serve 2 years house arrest. Brazil could have been sentenced to life in prison for shooting teacher Barry Grunow in the head.
Okay. So, little douchebag gets house arrest for 2 years for shooting someone in the head, and then he shoots. Yeah, he shoots his teacher in the head, and then he does it another time.
Head on the final day of classes of the 2000 school year. Brazil was convicted of second degree for the May 26, 2000 shooting of Grunow, a popular 35-year-old language arts teacher at Lake Worth Community Middle School. That verdict was a lesser charge than the first degree sought by the prosecution, which would have carried a mandatory sentence of life in prison.
Look at this douchebag.
The
No
law
remorse.
Brazil was sentenced under is called the 1020
He's being
life
quiet,
law,
like a little
enacted
douche he
in
is.
1999. Under that law, anyone convicted of carrying a gun during a crime faces 10 years in prison. Those who fire a gun during a crime face a
10 plus.
20 years in prison. And those who fire a gun harming or slaying someone during a crime face 25 years to life with no parole and no time deducted for good behavior. After the sentencing, Brazil's mother, Polly Powell, said she thought the sentence was fair, but that she would fight to try to have him freed sooner. Brazil testified that he did not mean to hurt Grunow and that he wished he could go.
Yes, the fuck you did. This is what I don't get about stupidity people. Just own up to it. Be real. If you're gonna be a thug, act like a thug. Don't be all wimpy and crocodile tears in the fucking courtroom if you ain't big enough. You wanna go ahead and shoot people? Be a thug.
Back and change what happened. He said that he was sorry for what he did to Grunow's
Oh,
family.
yeah. Sorry don't mean shit.
A number of Grunow's friends and fellow teachers.
Sorry don't mean shit. It's just a
about what
fucking
good
word.
father he was and the
It's just
influence he had
a
on
word
his
to get
students.
out of things.
One teacher showed the court a quilt.
I learned
full of
that.
Drawings, poems, and writings.
Obviously,
which he made
this
in memory of
douchebag
Grunow.
doesn't learn that.
During trial, the teen testified about how he pulled the .25 caliber handgun out of his bag and pointed it at Grunow because the teacher would not let him speak to two girls in his class.
What does this douchebag think? Why? Because you couldn't speak to two girls in a classroom? Get the fuck over it. Shit happens. Shit sucks. I get it. Doesn't mean you gotta take someone's life because you're a good teacher and they want you to fucking learn. God. Retarded
Brazil
ass
said he
fuck.
cocked the pistol because he
Fucking
wanted
butt fuck
Grunow to
bitch
take
with
it
a fucking
seriously,
nose
but
ass
that he didn't
motherfucker.
intentionally pull the trigger.
Stupid ass
He
fuck,
said he thought
dude.
the safety was on. Prosecutors
fuck.
argued that Brazil brought the gun to school because he was angry about being suspended by another teacher for throwing water balloons.
Okay, I get that one. But this dude's a fucking retard, I swear to God. I don't like calling people retards, but this dude's a fucking idiot.
In the shooting, showing jurors how he cocked the weapon and put a bullet in the chamber. Brazil showed little emotion during the testimony.
Yeah, buddy, you go shoot your own self. Everyone will laugh at you. Because you're an idiot.
Let's do the very best we can to accommodate everyone who would like to come into this public court.
Do you have any thoughts of hurting anybody with that weapon?
No.
Sure
Yes.
you didn't take the gun so you could kill Mr. Bruno a week later?
Yes.
No.
Okay, you sure when you took the gun out and the bullets, you didn't say, did you have any thoughts at that time of killing anybody?
Yes.
No.
How long did you live there prior to the shoot? Yeah, the address.
Both, dumbass.
Get along with Mr. Bruno.
Yes, I did.
No, you did not.
Did you enjoy being his student?
Yes.
No, the fuck you did not.
Yes, you was.
No, the fuck. No. Shut the fuck up, retarded fuck.
Becoming Kent County's youngest slayer, Jamarian Lawhorn was set free in 2021. Lawhorn, who was 12 when he knifed 9-year-old Connor Verkerke on a playground in 2014, has been moved into a family's home in Jenison from a youth program in Evart. He is now 19. Jamarian chose Connor at random, hoping that responding police would slay him and end a miserable life of hurt at the hands of his mom and stepfather. Instead, he has been held and treated at the Evart Youth Academy, the former Muskegon River Youth Home near Evart, where he earned his GED. I am extraordinarily proud of Jamarian's progress, and I do feel like he is ready to step into adulthood and be a productive member of society. His therapist, Melissa Height-Emery, said,
I feel like as growing up, this was the love I needed, and this love I'm getting now. It's a blessing, for real, for real. It's like, I don't know, I didn't think I could make it this far without it. I killed him out of anger that I was feeling. And it's only for me. It's like, it's time for me to make it right, to own up to my mistakes. And
Good. It took you 7 years to understand that. Alright, you guys. Well, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Today was Wednesday. I'll have another video out for you on Friday. See y'all later. Bye, guys. Bing bong.